Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis of uranium. We'll jump in here, I'll give you my financial opinion, and let's get moving. So here's uranium. I've got the futures contracts up here, a little bit of a down movement, but basically just sideways. And that's what we want to see. We want to see large up days, small down days, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Everything still remains bullish. Big picture view, this thing looks fantastic from a big picture view. So for me, it's nothing to worry about from the uranium futures prices. That all looks really good. We're getting a little bit of selling pressure up here for the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Pretty much, I mean, we should know this. We're getting a little bit of a back test here to do a little retest movement. That's as expected. Down here is where it's going to do the retest. We're going to come and bounce. We may even pull back a little bit. Do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then we're heading higher again. But yeah, we may have to pull back a little bit more before engaging the forward mode. Uranium getting a little more of a sell-off today. We do have support underneath it down here at the $82 level. It could fall back a little bit with a little bit of selling pressure. Still looks good though, guys. Everything's above the supports. We just may have a little bit of a pullback. We're seeing that across some of these sectors anyway, a lot of them. CCJ hit its head on that resistance line. Even though it didn't know it was there for most people, it is there. And it's pulling back a little bit. Again, I'm waiting for the buyers to step back in and push us higher. Could we come all the way back down? It's a possibility. Do I expect that? I don't have any expectations, guys. I'm just saying, here's your support. If we come back there, that's a buying opportunity, in my opinion, if it gets that far down. We've got Bannerman. Now, we've got support underneath this guy, too. So I'm going to draw it straight across. I'm going to yank it down a little bit. There's your support resistance line right here. Lots of hits through here. We've hit it multiple times. We've come up above it, and now it's acting as a support line. So there is support right underneath this if we decide to go a little bit lower. We've got Goviax, little Govi. Looks like it's starting to sell off a little bit. We could head a little bit lower in the short term. Again, we're still above all of these patterns. So even if we do come back down here, I like it there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy it. If I have money for all this. We have a lot that I'm buying. This guy is Global Atomic. I'm going to go into the dailies. We've got lots of resistance up here. Again, remember what I said. I'm looking to see how far back we go, but we could come all the way back to this support line down here. So we could head a little bit lower here. We do have a lot of momentum selling off here. This is a bearish engulfing pattern. Usually they resolve themselves lower. So that's Global Atomic. Forces Metals. Forces looks like we're getting a little bit of forces to the downside. Could we come back down here? I hope so. I want it to. Why? Because I want to buy more. I am greedy, guys, I guess a little bit. I like buying cheap shares. So if we get down there, all the better. If the buyers step in and push it higher, I have shares. I'm in it. There's no big worries. A win-win for me if we drop or not. Peer point looks like we're getting a little bit of selling pressure. We could head lower if the sellers want to push it lower. Here's our opportunity. Deep yellow, again, we've got support underneath it. I said that we were probably going to pull back. We pulled back a little bit. It did hit my little circle, but we'll see tomorrow what happens. If we get more selling pressure or if the buyers step in and hold it here right at the support blue line there that we've got. Paladin, this is a little bit more selling pressure. Again, you get these big kind of selling candlesticks. You go down the next day. I do think we'll go down the next day. We'll just see how big. And we'll see if the buyers come in and stop it. But we have support right here. It's sitting on top of the pattern. Everything looks bullish still. We just could have a day or two pullback. Sky Harbor, again, every time we hit these circle areas, we've sold off. So we could come back into the support zone. We had support zone in here, support zone in here, and I think we'll stay above it this time, gaining a little bit of strength each time we come back down. Alaska, yeah, a little bit of selling pressure. We're still above the support line. Everything still looks intact. Next Gen Energy, yep, getting more selling pressure. On this one, we've got this pattern here. I mean, it's almost like, we've got this channel that's going up, so we'll see if that holds. Base load is up against its resistance line. Again, we've got the buyers and sellers converging against this resistance line. That resistance line is this guy going across here. And you can move this line up and down. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. But there's resistance in this general vicinity that we're hitting. Little sticky icky up there. Fission 3.0, another one that's getting a little more selling pressure. Still looks fine. I'm just looking. I back out, like, here's your lows. They just keep stepping up. And we'll see if this holds here. Fission uranium, yeah, we're coming back. This is the resistance line going across. We came up, came back, came up, and then pushed back below it again. A little bit of buying pressure throughout the day. So we'll see if it holds. Kazatomprom getting a little bit more selling pressure here. We're right at that sticky resistance support line. Peninsula, another one getting a little bit more selling pressure today. This is a bearish engulfing. We could head back a little bit in the short term, but there's support right underneath it. That's what this support is down here. Boss Energy, another one. We could pull back to this area in here for a retest move. We break out, and then we'll sit on top of it for a little bit, and then we'll move on up eventually. Consolidated uranium is consolidating for sure. Just moving sideways. It does look like we got a little bit of squeezy going on. We'll see which way it breaks. Lotus Resources sitting on top of the pattern. Looks good. It's right at support. Doesn't look bad to me. This is Uranium Royalty Corporation. Let me see if I can throw a little something in here. All right, come on. Take it. There we go. So what it looks like to me is that we're kind of consolidating here, squeezing up before, hopefully, another move higher. So we'll see where it goes. Encore Energy, ENCUF. This is another one. It's broken out of its pattern. This kind of downtrend line, we've broken out, and it's just getting a little bit of a selling pressure day to day. And we'll see what happens. UU, a little bit more selling pressure. Again, we came up here. We tried hanging out here. It's got lots of resistance, lots of sellers up here, and we're coming back underneath. We'll see if we pull back to this support line again or not. There's that white support line at 845. URG getting a little bit more selling pressure back within the pattern. We might see tomorrow a small update or something to hold this line here if it's got any sort of support. UEC getting a little bit more selling pressure. It thought it was, hopefully we weren't out there partying saying, hey, look, we broke through this, we're ready to run, and then we got hit back with the hammer within the pattern. LEU. So this one looks really interesting to me. On a big long-term perspective, let's go logged so we can actually see it. Usually what you do is you break out like this, and then you come back and do a retest. We broke out, come back to a retest. Looks good to me, guys. LTBR, another one that's kind of coiling up here. And the only thing I'll say is sometimes when these are upward like this, we could break to the downside here if they're pointed upward wedge. But we'll see what happens. Again, volume is stepping in. I'd like to see a break out of this pattern eventually. ISO Energy, there's your double bottom, and then the break higher. Zooming in on it. Again, we're getting a little bit more selling pressure today. We could come back and do a retest move. Appia Energy, this is Appia Rare Earth and Uranium Corporation, another one that's broken to the upside of its pattern. We're getting a little bit of selling pressure in the near term. I wouldn't be afraid. We're still above all of the patterns. DNN, a little bit of selling pressure today. I've got the circle down there thinking of where we will probably end up going on a retest move. And again, the buyers could step in here at any time and rocket higher. So I don't know if we'll hit this full retest move, but you know what? We'll find out. Blue Sky Uranium getting the sideways action, moving on. Forum Energy Metals doing a little bit more of a downward movement. We could see a little bit more selling pressure in the short term. AEC moving sideways. We've got laramide, another one that's just moving sideways at the moment, but above both patterns. Still looks good. Western uranium, vanadium looks like it's trying to break to the downside, possibly. I don't like these two large down candlesticks, but we'll see which way it breaks. UEXCF looks like it's breaking to the downside. Again, we could do another move back to the support line, this blue line there. Mega uranium, I do think this is going to go higher. Big buying pressure, smaller selling pressure days still looks good. Standard uranium getting a little bit more of a sell-off, selling pressure today. This could go down, guys. It could. Looks like we're getting a little bit more selling pressure, and there isn't much support underneath it till about 13 cents or so. ALXCF moving sideways. We've got Azincourt moving sideways in this big old pattern. Valor Metals, another one that's been moving sideways. It looks like it's trying to squeeze up here. Oops. Doing some sort of squeezing up. Elevate, still moving up. Big up days, small down days, still looks quite good. And then we've got 92 Energy, another one that's looking okay. So that's what I've got for today, guys, for the uranium group. A little bit more selling pressure. We'll see if the selling pressure continues tomorrow. What I want to see is bottoming candlestick patterns for me to go long in. We are still above all these patterns for the majority of the companies. We are still above support. And the physical uranium price looks good. So we're just getting a little bit of a sell-off. That's it. We're just getting a sell-off in the short term. And I'm not too worried. I'm just waiting for it to turn around. That's all. We'll catch you next time here, guys. Thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Finding Value website if that's interesting you. We talk about some of these uranium companies. I might post a couple on some that I think that look really good in the short term here. And give you my opinion on that on the website. Platinum membership gets you all that stuff. We're also going to do some training for technical analysis. I'll have to schedule that and figure out a day. And we're also doing our weekly Zoom call meetings on the weekend. We did exceed 100 people on the call. I'll upgrade that to do it up to 500 people. And then once we exceed that, we'll upgrade it in the future. I'll keep upgrading it for everyone who wants to participate and join. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.